Oh, hi guys. I just wanted to say hi a minute. I actually made a video a few minutes ago and about ways that sometimes maybe we're looking for sympathy or empathy or getting attention or something. But I went on for quite a while and I had this new little microphone that I bought, but it's not working. I mean, well, it probably works. I just don't know how to do it yet. So actually, years ago, my IQ was maybe 152 or something. I've had a pretty high IQ. I haven't always used all of it like a lot of people. But I don't know. I just didn't read the instructions right. And I even had the little receiver plugged into the iPad and this plugged in. But then maybe this wasn't charged. But last night it was charged. And but I got it for only $9. But you know, $9 is $9, which could be used constructively to buy healthy food as opposed to junk food or something. But anyway, but it'll work. But it's not working today, but I just thought I'd wear this because I thought it was kind of cute. So, so anyway, people do that, you know. So, but what I was talking about is how sometimes we might use certain things about ourselves to get attention. Like for me, like, oh, look at me. I'm a lot older now. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. I don't have this. I don't have a baby. Well, grandkids or babies or, you know, but I've had two lovely pets and I've had a full life. And, but I mean, sometimes in life to get kind of, to reach super success, we have to be like show just how marvelous we are and all this, you know. And it's all like sales, like I've been in sales and then in acting and in, you know, marketing and, you know, presentation. But sometimes do we tell people things like this to get attention? Because sometimes in life, when I've done a lot better in life, instead of getting recognition, I've gotten crickets from people around me. Like when I've lost a lot of weight and looked really good. You know, I've been in different challenges to do that, just something that I have had to work on a lot in life, especially as I got older. When I was looking better, which obviously right now I need to lose some weight again, but when I was, sometimes all of a sudden people would not even acknowledge it. Even when I lost 30 pounds one time in a challenge, it was a beach body challenge, and I'd gone to one wedding of one of my nieces, and no, it was my nephew. Okay, so but nobody seemed to notice, or you know, and but then I had a picture of myself how I had lost all this weight, and I looked so great for my oldest brother's wedding years ago in my 30s, decades ago actually, and I looked so great. I put it up on Instagram. I was wearing a purple and outfit, and I was probably like 130. In high school, I got down to like 115 when I was like on the drill team and certain things, or dancing and musicals and all this and recitals. But sometimes down to 115, 130, whatever. And then as I got older, it would go, you know, like continuing up, you know, 130, 140, 150, 160, you know, 70, 80, whatever, you know, and up, you know, like that, up and down between 150 and 200 usually, you know, like somewhere. My battle was always to keep it, you know, down. And, but do we do this to tell people looking for sympathy? Because do you think sometimes depends on the kind of crowd you're hanging around with? Because sometimes certain people might feel sorry for you or want to befriend you if you're not so good looking, you know, for example, you know, like when I was better looking, when I was younger, sometimes men just wanted one thing. They would make up stories and everything. You know, sometimes do you feel like we live in a superficial world, or is that just, I mean, at our core and at our heart, people really are not that superficial, but they can be, you know. So, because when I've done better in life, you know, sometimes you don't always get the accolades. And, you know, sometimes when you do better in life, you don't relate to people that don't do as better in life. And now that I'm kind of like in challenge mode again, I don't always resonate with highly successful people. It's like because I feel inferior, and maybe they wouldn't think of me as being that inferior because, you know, based on my age, they'd say, well, most people your age are retired anyway. But, you know, it's not exactly, you know, what I've aspired to at this level. Okay. Anyway, so maybe we do like look for people to sympathize with us. And I do think that I do. In fact, I know I do, because the way I grew up, we were not given sympathy. We were raised to be tough, because my dad was a naval lieutenant, and then he was a, you know, electrical sales engineer and did all this stuff. So in that, in a way, is good. But once in a while, if I wanted a little bit of sympathy, I'd chase over to my grandmother's house, which I would get punished for later. But she could be tough too. You know, she would, in a different way, she would say, well, you shouldn't feel like that, or you shouldn't think that way. And, you know, maybe part of it was true. Maybe I shouldn't have felt that way, but I did. And so the bottom line is sometimes we're looking for attention. And of course, people do great things to get attention. Since I'm older, back in the day, men would do more things to get more attention. Like nowadays, women can, you know, be whatever they want to be, really, if they want to, you know, astronauts, everything, you know. So, but everybody does stuff to get attention and awards and accolades. But it's funny how sometimes people that are very successful, some people, I don't like to use the word jealous, but, you know, people, because it is an elephant in the room, you know, feel that way about them, even their peers, you know. But it's all a way of getting attention, whether you're like looking for sympathy or whether you're looking for admiration or whatever. But all that said, I guess, is this part of the glue that holds us all together? Anyway, so, I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm just wondering, sometimes, like, when I've showed, like, my video the other day, I thought I was going to edit out my stomach or my chubby legs, and then I thought, well, you know, whatever, you know. It's like, because right now I'm just, if I do get any work, it's going to be independent contractor stuff I can do out of my place. Just, you know, like if I book a little audition or voiceover or acting audition, or if I, you know, could do some coaching or something like that, you know. But basically, right now I'm technically unemployed. I'm you know, semi-retired. I'm like needing to make a lot more money though, and I think I always had that Cinderella complex, you know. And that's not a great thing too. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Thinking, oh, well, this is all just a way station wherever I live. But right now, I'm renovating my apartment that I rent, you know, because it's not the way that I want to live. And then it'll make it easier when I do improve my situation financially, then I can get me a little better apartment perhaps or something. But it'll be less to move, because I've moved a lot of stuff back and forth, you know, different places, and that adds up too, you know. But anyway, that was the main theme of it was, you know, sometimes do we try to make or wonder, like we're fishing for either compliments or we're fishing for, you know, sympathy, like, oh, look at me, I'm battling my weight, I'm battling my money situation, I'm battling my, you know, work situation, look at me at my age, I'm, you know, no mate, no, you know, kids, no grandkids, whatever. You know, it's like a way of maybe feeling sorry for yourself. And it's the funny thing of it is I've had people that have gone like, one of the last times I lived out in LA, this one guy goes, wow, how'd you get out of having kids and all that? You're lucky. And, you know, it's like, because he had gone through a bad situation. You know, some people have gone through bad situations with exes and kids and grandkids. I mean, I've had ex-boyfriends, was married once, an ex and all that, had a lot of problems with all those things. But people keep telling me, oh, you're so lucky you didn't have any kids and all that, which perhaps under the circumstances, yes, probably I was, you know. But sometimes a simpler life isn't always the best. I mean, no matter what we're human beings. We aspire to greatness. We want more and more. And you know, I've kind of had a habit in my life sometimes of trying on careers and jobs the way some people try on clothes, you know, at the store or whatever, or, you know, try different restaurants or try different cooking or housekeeping tips or whatever. But that's all. I mean, you know, but we have this need for attention, whether it's with our friends that we see in person, or neighbors, or just with our online friends, or our colleagues, professional colleagues, which oftentimes are in competition with one another. And a lot of times I've observed that as an actor, that occasionally books work, you know, so I see a lot of this online with my social media actor friends and friends that I know in person. You know, that maybe I've been doing the acting thing for about 20 years, but some of them doing it a lot longer, you know, if they're my age, you know, maybe 30, 40 years, whatever. But, or then the younger ones that instantly can book a role if they've got that raw talent plus great looks and they're under 25, which Hollywood loves people like 22, 23. Then they start treating people like they're older people when they're only like 30, which to me is still really a kiddo, you know. So, but anyway, that's all. I mean, maybe that's just part of our human condition here, that we're constantly looking for attention and accolades as we strive to improve our life, or look for sympathy, you know, about our age or weight, or, you know, our social economic level, or, you know, marital status, whatever, or people that have relationships that look like fairy tales from an observant point, but maybe if you find out the inner workings, it's not always perfect, you know. When you're dealing with other people, there's always going to be some kind of problem, but sometimes you have to deal with the problems of yourself. And sometimes being alone is a problem too. Sometimes you can overly be independent. I've done that before too. And then sooner or later I've had to maybe have somebody help me with something, take something out to do, you know, carry something that was too heavy, or do something like that. You know, a lot of times we have to get help. We have to get somebody to help us with various things in life. But anyway, we kind of live in a world where we're all very independent, which is great. But everybody's kind of going through a tough time. So I will say this: I don't think people are as sympathetic to others as they used to be, because everybody's got some kind of a challenge going on of some sort from A to Z. And if they don't, they'll find something to worry about. All they have to do is go to the doctor's office or whatever, go someplace, and they'll find some new thing to worry about. Okay, so over and out, guys, and I guess hopefully this video took, because like I said, I just did one earlier. I had anyway, like I said, this isn't working yet because I tried to do it with the receiver plugged into my iPad, and it was just total silent crickets. So I've got to figure all that out. So technology, right? So anyway, guys, over and out. But yeah, you can get these little things as little as $6 or $7. So, okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.